gave the opportunity to mount a Givi top plate that I had lying around onto the bracket. This was fitted to the bike, and I think it looks pretty darn good. And it only takes a few moments to whip it off when you don't need it. But it provides a very strong mounting. This is fitted with a top box. As you can see, it doesn't look too bad. Well, welcome to my garage. Following the last video I put up about making the wee Royal Enfield mine, there was some comments on that YouTube page inquiring about how I fitted the Givi top plate onto the seat mount. And thinking about it, I must have watched hundreds of videos on the Classic 350, and I've never seen any about doing this wee modification. So I thought, rather than trying to explain how it was done, I thought I'd show you what I've done. This doesn't mean to say it's what you should do, but it's what works for me. So I'll show you what I've done. So at the moment, this Givi plate that I have here, I had that lying around anyway. I mean, it was something I already had, and it's mounted onto the rear seat mounting bracket. I have not modified this bracket in any way. I've just mounted the Givi plate that I had. And how did I do it? Well, I'll try and demonstrate it to you. There's 6 wee, in this particular screw, the plate, there's 6 wee tiny screws that hold it on. I've already removed 5 of them. I'll take the last one out and use a wee screwdriver and clip plastic insert out. So what you actually have is this kind of lattice area. So you have multiple options to fix the pad onto. I'll tell you what I'll do is, I'll stop it just now and I'll take this off and I'll show you exactly what I've done. So here we have what we would normally have is the seat pad on the mounting frame. I've removed the seat pad, so I no longer necessarily use it. So I'm left with basically the bare frame. And what we have on it is actually 6 holes already drilled on it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I've never had to modify this in any way at all. How I've mounted the pad is by using the 2 rear mountings and the 2 front mountings. When it's actually on, it sort of tends to sit up slightly. So I've put in 2 rubber mounts. And what they are, basically, is these wee tiny rubber mounts. They're basically Givi ones. I've had a few of them because I've had quite a few Givi products over the years, and I've had a few of these spare. And I thought that would actually just pull through and sit in that wee hole perfectly. So basically you just stick it in and pull it through and it locates in, and it was just a perfect fit. I've had 2 variations on fitting it. The first one, because on this mount, how it actually works, it has these, it's a lattice of holes basically. And there's the Givi, when it comes with a wee square elongated washer basically, which drops into the holes, and that's how you would fit it. And normally it drops, has long bolts that go through, and uses these plates underneath which it screws to, and it mounts to a Givi rack or an aftermarket rack. On this one, what I found was on the back, it lined up perfectly with these back holes. So all I had to do was basically push an Allen screw through on the underside and basically bolt it through on the top. So that gave the back a really strong mounting. But what I found was at the front, it didn't quite line up. And initially, my first version was to use one of the wee Givi angle plates here, which basically I tucked underneath, basically had it fixed kind of underneath, similar to that, and the bolt went through. Unfortunately, that wasn't such a good idea, because what I found was, and I wasn't careful enough, it actually did come in contact with the mudguard, and a wee scratch on my mudguard, which I'm not happy about. But in a future video, I've got a solution for that one to fix that. So it was back to the drawing boards a wee bit there. So what I have now done is I found in my pile of junk as well some wee brackets I had as well, and I modified a couple of wee brackets that came up. So they're basically bolted on through the screw holes up to a couple of wee brackets that come up, and they then bolt onto the front two mountings here. So it makes a really secure mounting. You may wonder what these bolts are for. They don't actually do anything. When I took what would hold the grab rail on the rack, and when I looked at it from the side, all I saw was these bolt holes, which I wasn't very happy about, didn't like that. So basically I've put bolts in to plug the holes, but they have no use whatsoever other than aesthetically. So basically how it's all put together is the pad goes on there. We have the two locating Givi kind of oblongy washers. Stick a bolt through from the underside, stick the plate on top, stick a nut on, and the same this side. Bolt screw goes through, stick a nut on, there's one in. So basically that's all the bolts in place. And tighten the four bolts up, and it's really securely. It lines up really straight along. The wee rubber Givi plugs, they help to keep it nice and level. But it's really, really strong, really easy. And because all the nuts are all basically not protruding through, lots and lots of clearance. But anytime I put this on now, I always make sure I put some protection over the mudguard, just in case, while it's going in. This basically, how it fixes on basically is on the top of the suspension mount, just slacking them off, and this slides in. This bolt holds the front seat on, as well as two bolts that hold the front seat on. This is the rear of the two. Anyway, all I've utilised is things I had in just lying around anyway. I always had this top plate. I've got top boxes and panels and stuff from my other bikes. It seemed to me sensible to be able to just swap them over or use the top box should I need it. My two babies. I certainly absolutely love this little Royal Enfield. I think it's a fantastic wee bike. I hope to bring more videos of wee modifications. I've got some more modifications in the pipeline at the moment, so that will come up in a future video. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you have, I'm quite happy if you'd subscribe to the channel and click the like button. I would really appreciate it. So for now, goodbye for now. See you again soon. Bye.